Allin podcast with Silicon Valley entrepreneurs, including David Sachs and Chamath Palihapitiya, if I got that name wrong, sorry. They're absolutely brilliant. This time, however, Chamath got something so wrong, and I just vehemently disagree with him. The subject is the lab leak hypothesis that social media would derank you or block you from the platform should you bring up, because again, the Ministry of Truth did not approve. Why did the Ministry of Truth not approve? Because Donald Trump said so. And here you have Chamath basically confession through projecting, defending himself for his own personal TDS is my take, doing so in a calm manner. And here is a 2+ minute exchange between him and David Sachs. I'm going to come back and comment after it's done.
Because the person who could have explained it in a de-escalated, factual way chose to escalate it and be emotional and superficial, and that was Donald Trump. And so I don't think that you could point to us and say we could have changed how the narrative is exploited. All of us are just normal, average people on the ground. But there probably is sort of, a hierarchy of like information, and there probably isn't a single individual beyond the president who has access to more information. And so if he was just more moderate and normal and basically said, hey guys, there is a legitimate risk that we need to investigate, because fast forward basically 18 months later, and this president, who is moderate, you can like him or not like him, but he's kind of moderate and unoffensive, says basically that. And now we have this news cycle about investigating something we should have been investigating 18 months ago, just at least to get to the bottom of it, what was going on. But Trump had to make it such a big deal and about himself. And I think that's the takeaway.
But just because Trump says something doesn't mean it's not true. I mean, he is occasionally going to say things that are true. And
that's not what my point is. My point is, as the president of the United States, you just have to have more discipline. Well,
the media's first obligation here is to the truth. They're not supposed to distort the truth or push forward a false narrative because of the political consequences, and that they didn't want to be seen as helping Trump in any way. And that's really what their motivation was. But I find it equally disturbing that big tech was censoring the truth on this issue. The whole point of having a free marketplace of ideas is so that we can arrive at the truth. And how's that going to be possible when big tech is censoring?
I really disagree with you. I think that the big tech's decision to censor this information was a derivative of the first two things. Like, I don't think that decision would have happened had Trump been normal. And then, media would have just listened and said, okay, maybe there's a chance this guy's right. He's saying and acting in a normal way. Let's go investigate. And then big tech would have basically said, we don't know the truth one way or the other, but it seems legitimate, sane people are on both sides of the issue.
So because Donald Trump published mean tweets, it was okay for big tech, or rather the media, to basically portray the correct theory as a lie and a conspiracy, and it was okay for big tech to engage in censorship on that basis?
As a fact checker, as the media, your goal is to get to the truth. Because they did not like Trump's attitude so much, these are not defenders of truth. These are propagandists. The whole social media that went out of its way to eliminate such notions on their platforms, the lab leak hypothesis. Do you know that just for calling out the fact that I stated that the laboratory that was investigating coronaviruses was in Wuhan, where does this virus first appear? I was called a conspiracy theorist. I had a friend not talk to me for a week for being such an idiot in his mind. The only reason that he now remembers is because I have the texts to prove it. He denied it when I brought it up to him. But this whole Trump derangement syndrome is not an investigation of what is true. It is our duty to investigate what is true. For all I know, it's possible that Kamala Harris one day might get something right.
Do you have plans to visit the border?
Not today.
And it is my duty to acknowledge that and not let my own bias get in the way, as social media, as the corporate media has done, as Chamath no doubt did. Because you dislike Trump so much, and his attitude does not, as David Sachs say, necessarily make him wrong. And that is your job, that you've absolutely failed that media, social media, that you are supposed to investigate truth, that you are supposed to let an obvious hypothesis, is not a theory, as Brett Weinstein will tell you, but Brett Weinstein was one of the people that was at the forefront of promoting this hypothesis, because in science, you have to take a look at every possible avenue and then eliminate them one by one. This is the way that you conduct proper science. You put forward the hypothesis, then investigate. But any investigation into this was squashed because Trump was in office, because he said it. And is this the way that we want to go forward as a nation? Do we want people like Chamath saying, because we don't like somebody, we are going to do everything we can, including deny the truth? Now they're going back, they're editing past articles that cast major doubts on the lab leak hypothesis, not even major doubts, just saying that it was a debunked theory, that it was untrue, that anybody promoting this should be cast out into the cornfield. This is what's been stated over and over. Hey, what is true? Who got something right? Donald Trump got this right. I got this right. I stated that how can we eliminate this, especially given the evidence of the fact that the laboratory is in Wuhan? But I get castigated and called out for it by my friends as being conspiracy theorist numero uno, right-wing nutjob, when all I'm doing is investigating truth. But that's all you can do. Investigate what is true and find out what that is, and not listen to the people that will claim to tell you what is true, but to do our own investigation, not to listen to the New York Times, the Washington Post, Facebook, and what they're promoting and algorithmically demoting in order that the truth doesn't get out, much like they did with the Hunter Biden laptop scandal, much like they did with the Wuhan lab leak hypothesis. Not Anthony Fauci, who has consistently lied about the funding that went to the laboratory. Oh yeah, it might have gone through an intermediary, but it still funded the research. It's disgusting what's going on. It's bad for America, and we need to come to the bottom of this. And China should not only be sanctioned, but should be fined by the world for preventing the investigation. Right now, who is going to go ahead and investigate them? The WHO. You think that they're going to uncover the truth? No, they're in China's pocket. They won't even call Taiwan a country on a call. They won't even acknowledge this, much like John Cena recently did.
我有一个错误，我必须说，现在就是很重要。我爱更尊重中国，更中国人。
Guys, Chamath, I love you. This is the first time that I've so ardently disagreed with you, but it's confession through projection. You're defending your own TDS. Let's come down to what is true. Let's all point to the Northstar, which is the truth. Sometimes it can be hard to find. Sometimes the sky can be cloudy. Sometimes people are intentionally clouding it. But let's hold those who do so intentionally responsible. Peace and blessings. If you like this video, please thumb it up and then subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hit the notification bell, all notifications. Peace out.